welcome everyone to a special Halloween-themed discussion video. I'm just gonna say right now, that impression was horrible. Let's get started. Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and like I just said right now, this is a special Halloween-themed discussion video. And it's probably a little unorthodox. I mean, again, as I have to say, you already read the title down below, so let's talk about Disney. Because there is one game that just sticks out from all the other Disney-themed games that is just so twisted and crazy and really awesome for that. Epic Mickey. So, Epic Mickey is a game that, again, is just crazy and creepy, and that actually works in its favor. That was how it was supposed to be this entire time. And Warren Spector, god damn it, dude. He's on record saying, I wanted to scare the kids. I wanted to give them, their nostalgic memories and twist them into some nightmarish concoction. That was his goal with this game, and he succeeded. But the thing is, the beta and a lot of cut content and concept art was supposed to depict an even creepier version of this game. So my question is, as the title of the video is called, should this game have been creepier? Do you think it would have worked if this game just went full out fucking crazy with the content and the characters and everything? I'm just gonna start with the main villain. So the Shadow or Phantom Blot is this bubbly, ink-like creature, and he looks pretty creepy on his own in the game itself, in the finished final game. Here is some concept art. That was one of his designs. Huh? That just looks not even... Would you see this and would you think Disney when you see this right here? I don't know. I really don't... Like, that alone, that sets the mood for this video and the stuff I'm going to be showing you guys. So, fan recreations of these kinds of things are also equally as fucked up and creepy. But, again, that's the feel that this game was supposed to be going for, so it does fit. But there were, again, a lot of cut stuff. So, like, for example, I'm just going to be showing concept art as I talk. So here's some concept art of the Beetleworks and one of their earliest conceptions. And fucking hey, just look at it. The fucking Beetleworks look creepy as shit. Here's the finished Beetlework. This is what they look like in game. But there was supposed to be so much more creepiness. If you don't know the plot, maybe I should have started with that. We're already like 3 or so minutes in, but the plot of this game is that there is a twisted, weird, darker version of Disneyland in the form of this model little structure called the Wasteland. And the sorcerer Yen Sid is the one who created this world, and as he leaves to his chambers to retire, and go to sleep, Mickey comes around all mischievous and such, and he fucks everything up. He gets a bunch of paint and thinner and all kinds of shit all over the Wasteland, and he's the one who created the Blot, the Phantom Blot. And the Blot gets pissed and drags Mickey down into the world, into the model world, which then becomes the world that you explore in the game. And as it turns out, the Wasteland is a twisted form of Disneyland, so there's a lot of inspiration from both things you could see at any Disneyland and rejected stuff that never made it into the park, any of the parks really. So that right there is a really cool idea. The fact that this game's atmosphere is so creepy just adds to that like mysticism of what you can find, what you can see, who you talk to, and the fact that this is kind of a decisions-based game, not so much like The Walking Dead or Infamous, but it's more of your actions instead of what you choose to say to people. I've never gotten that far in the game to where if anything like that happens, but from what I've been seeing and what I've heard and researched so far, and from what I've experienced firsthand in the game, it's all decision-based in terms of actions. So if you choose to use the paint to help the clock tower, who's the first boss, and yep, right there, creepy as fuck. You can use the paint to help him, or you can use the thinner to just fuck him up even more. So, decisions like that, the more of those kinds of decisions, whichever path you go down that you make, you can either be the hopeful hero or an anti-hero. So, that's pretty interesting. The thing is, though, as I should get back onto the main topic of the video, there is already so much creepy content. There is a lot of creepy content in this game. If I can mention the clock tower again real quick, the theme of the boss was supposed to be "It's a Small World" played backwards. So stuff like that is insane. It would have just added to that like creepiness factor and like unsettling factor. And again, I have to ask the question: should they have done that? How do you think the game would have turned out? And maybe with all this talking, the simple answer would be, more creepier. But the thing is, how far can we push the boundaries, really? I actually have not played the sequel, you know, Power of Two or Power of Illusion, so I'm not exactly sure how far that creepy factor goes, if at all. I don't know if they did if they pulled the Luigi's Mansion, and for the sequel it was a bit lighter and upbeat, you know, to not make the whole, not to offset the whole, like, well, you know, the first one was way creepier. Or maybe that is in itself an offset, because the sequel is more lighter in terms of, I guess, the content than the first one was. But you could also double that, you know, Luigi's Mansion as well. That was supposed to be a lot creepier too. But Epic Mickey just more so, because Mario's had its share of creepy stuff in certain games, be it Easter eggs, you know, the more obscure stuff, or just straight up like Luigi's Mansion. Epic Mickey is one of the only games to like really bump up the creep factor by a ton. So that's my question, like, how much more would it have added to the experience if this game was a lot creepier? So what I'm trying to say basically, even though I don't play horror games and all that, and this isn't really like a horror game, it's an action-adventure platforming game, but again, for it being Disney, it's pretty goddamn creepy. I would actually like to see the more creepier version, because I have, I'll link down below TV Tropes, Nightmare Fuel, that category of Epic Mickey. Oh, that's where most of the information that I've been talking about comes from. So you can go down there to the link and check out that page, and there's so much was cut. So much that would have been. Let's go into more concept art. There's this creepy animatronic Goofy with no eyes and only one arm, so there's that. And then there's an elephant that was supposed to act as some kind of like a lift, elevator, platform thing. And oh, just look at its structure. Oh my god. Oh god, it's so creepy. But stuff like that, you know, for it being just that, I think a little too creepy, or whatever the story is for why these things didn't make it into the final game, that would have probably added to the experience a lot more, and it could have become a Halloween-themed game, basically, you know. That was definitely something that would creep you out enough to be like, okay, this is an experience, you know, it's something akin to a more of the other downplayed horror games. Again, this isn't a horror game, but it could have been with this cut content. So really, this isn't so much of like a discussion video, I guess. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just more of, would you like to see that? Do you think it would have been better if, or not even so much better, but how do you think the experience could have been, like enhanced or whatever, if that content was there? That is something I would like to see. Basically, this video all comes down to, oh, I wish they made it creepier because it was supposed to be, but I'm just trying to relay information rather to you guys about, if those of you who don't know, have never played Epic Mickey or whatever the case may be, it was supposed to be a lot creepier. So my question is, again, it's like the third time I've repeated it, do you think it would have been better if it was creepier? I think it would have been. I think it would have been it would have been a cooler experience, I guess, in a way. I don't really know how to phrase it, but there was a whole lot that was cut that they should have kept or hid somewhere in some kind of way, because sometimes stuff like that happens. You have something that's a beta item or some beta content, and there are sometimes some ways you can still find that kind of stuff in the game. I'm not sure if they ever modeled any of that stuff from the concept art. I haven't heard any stories of anyone hacking the game, looking at the files and the models to see what was really cut, you know. But it's really neat that this game is filled with things that were rejected real life Disney merchandise and Disney, I think, like attractions and stuff like that as well. Even the Dumbo ride, which is in Disneyland, but here in the game, it looks fucking scary. So you don't want to, at least that's the feeling I get. I don't want to be looking at that broken up, being down ride for too long in the game. So I don't know if this is really a redundant kind of video or not, but basically it's on to you now. Do you want to see would you like to have seen what the game would have been like if it were way creepier, with all this content that was cut and all the concept art that just stopped at concept art? I think it would have been interesting because, again, this game speaks volumes for what a Disney game is or can be, because they could have made it cheery or just a little offsetting, but this game could possibly scar younger kids because of just how eerie it is, and some of the rides and just character models, or even models of the rides with like the characters that are supposed to be part of the ride, how they look and how some of the music is as well. Like, I'm pretty sure they still used It's a Small World for the clock tower, but it's creepier. The song is legitimately creepy in this game, and the fact that they were going to play it backwards have you heard it backwards? Because I have, and it's weird. So that's basically it. I mean, again, this might be a little bit redundant of a video, but I wanted to do something kind of Halloween themed. And this game is legitimately creepy if you haven't played it. So I do recommend this game. Links down below to more info about the beta of this game and what it could have been. So basically, yeah, I am trying to say that I do wish that beta stuff did make it one way or another into the game, into the final official game where you could find these themes, because it would have added to the experience of this game, which is just such an enigma on its own. Like, it just has its own feel and atmosphere that none of the other Disney themed, like Disney Infinity, happy, cheery, as much as I don't support it, but it's so bright and colorful. This game, dark colors and creepy content, weird characters, decision-based. You can turn Mickey into almost a villain, an anti-hero at least. So it's really interesting. Basically, it's almost kind of like a review, like, hey, this game, if I was doing a verdict for Trash Talk, it'd be like a 4 out of 5 or something. But basically, I do wish that there was more creepiness in this game. Warren Spector wanted to go all out. He should have gone all out. It would have been pretty cool to see that. As fucking crazy as that sounds, for him to be like, I wanted to scare the kids with this kids game that's dark as all hell. But besides that, that's really it. I'm splitting up a storm over here. My name is Marcelo. I'm actually a little bit pressed for time, so I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Have yourselves a happy Halloween. Get a lot of candy and trick or treat and be Elvis or Tigger or a 40-year-old man dressed as Tinkerbell. No, don't actually. You know what? Don't do that. Never mind. I'm rambling on. I'll see you guys later. Take care.